Hey guys, what's going on? Will, Audra, Flawless Exotic Creations coming to you guys with yet another video. Yeah. We are really racking it up video wise.
Yeah, we are.
So, yes, another Gene Chasers. But stay tuned because this one's going to be quite different.
This one's a little different.
Yep. So, Gene Chasers, the basis behind Gene Chasers, really cool and catchy name we came up with under the Flawless brand. We want to consistently put ourselves out there for hopefully to come across some of the new breeders, new keepers, feeds where, you know, you kind of get hooked on it and go down that rabbit hole like I know I do and binge watch anyone that's kind of catchy, funny, interesting, or entertaining, or educational. We want to be a little bit of all of that, jack of all trades.
Yeah, we want to be able to get you guys who relate to us and relate to this journey of learning and growing and having just a blast.
Right, and this kind of takes the emphasis or the focus off of, you know, making money and business development and business building,
and puts it back on
the snakes, you know, and the specific genes and what's making up certain combos and how do you know this is here or how do you know this is there. A lot of confusing and simple questions both. Sometimes, you know, breeders or keepers, or they don't want to ask certain questions, or they're afraid of certain responses, or they may feel dumb or silly.
But guess what?
Ask them here.
You can ask us.
Absolutely, ask them here.
There are really no dumb questions with us.
Absolutely not, because we feel like, you know, knowledge is everything.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, especially when it comes to this, and you know, everyone's so far advanced and so far ahead. You know, you often feel like you're so far behind. Why start? You know, and guess what? Today is a good day to start. Start.
This is a stepping stone.
Absolutely. So if you like the content, you know, that we're putting out, definitely comment. Let us know that you like it. The reason we do these, you know, same rather different type of intros involved in the videos, because we want you to be able to kind of click on this video, feel like you never missed a beat. You know what each, you know, episode is about. So if you caught episode 10, 15, 1, you know, you kind of get a good read on what's to follow with different episodes, and you can kind of go through and fish for whatever you may want.
Exactly.
So if this is the content for you, let's roll.
Let's get in.
Boom. Okay, so this is a very special week, special episode, and very interesting episode.
Yes.
We think it's going to be very educational, actually. And disclaimer, we don't know everything. This is just our opinion from our research.
And from working with.
And from our experience with, you know, hands-on specifically. So this week is going to be very informative, and you guys are going to be able to share this video, hopefully save this video for some type of reference. So what is it? This Gene Chaser series is going to be called Battle of the Granite Genes. So when I first seen some of the genes out here, especially the Granite genes, we work with quite a few. I didn't know not only are all of them categorized as Granite genes, Granite style genes, but there's also a gene labeled Granite. Tell me, it makes absolutely no sense. So I wanted to mention that, so hopefully that automatically clears up some confusion that you may have as well. Granite is a gene, and also Granite is the title of a group of genes. So get that out there in the air. So this one is going to be Battle of the Granite Genes. But we're going to keep it focused on Hatari and Grim
Reaper. Grim.
Yeah, and Grim. So Hatari gene, obviously, its super form is Atari. So you have Hatari and Atari.
Baby, that's a gaming system, right? Back in your day?
No, I think that was in your day, baby.
I'm positive it was yours. Baby, you older than me.
You was telling me about like Oregon Trail and all that stuff. I'm like, what is that?
What is that?
So nix that. Anyway, so
anybody know what Oregon Trail is?
comment down below, because that's where Audra has malaria. Oh gosh.
No.
So
we would have not been on the same wagon.
Oh, absolutely. No. Wagon would have been pulling me.
Oh my God.
Anyway, guys.
Okay.
It gotta be funny. Anyway, so Hatari, both of the jeans, we're gonna stick one at a time. Hatari is a very young jean, very interesting jean. If you guys have a chance to get your hands on Hatari, I would do so. It's very young as far as how many combinations it's been put into. It does in its single form resemble quite a bit of different jeans. It is its own self-sufficient jean. It was developed or discovered by Dark Cloud Reptiles. I believe it dated back to 2015,
2014,
maybe 2014 to 2016. But Dark Cloud Reptiles is who discovered it
from a Dinker project.
And from a Dinker project. Everything for the most part comes from a Dinker project till you end up proving it out. Exactly. With your super forms or whatever it may be. A lot of jeans out there in this single form resemble other jeans, especially when you're looking at just a simple incomplete dominant. Hatari is an incomplete dominant jean. Chris Davenport with these balls, as well as Tony Thomas, good friend of ours, Hardwired Exotics. They work pretty seriously with Hatari. Hatari has not saturated the market. So I mean, the sky's the limit on what you can do with it. So if you want to be one of them people to go out there and say, hey, I got world's first, go ahead. You know, you can definitely go do it. We're working on some things to put into motion as well. But there's a lot to be done with it, and there's a lot of people, or a handful of people, that's seriously working the jean. Some of the characteristics of the jean, which again, the basis on this is there's a lot of confusion between it, because a lot of people think that Hatari and Grim is the same exact thing. So this video will solve it for you. So some of the characteristics for it.
You're going to have some keyholes and some pixelations in your alien heads. Those are the main characteristics.
Yes, those are the main characteristics of a grimy type of granite jean. Pixelation along the alien heads, the whole 9 yards. That's pretty much the basis of it. It's a dark jean, and it has some highlights here and there, but you know, the inconsistencies in the dorsal as well, and it's still untapped. Still more research needs to be done. Not a whole bunch of videos here on YouTube. This is probably going to blow up at some point, because it's not much videos on it. So you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the content, because there's not a whole bunch of videos out there on Hatari or Grim. So hopefully you guys appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Now Grim, we're gonna flip the script,
which I kind of like.
I really like Grim, because guess what? Whoever is the marketing person behind the jean itself, and kind of they're extremely creative, because not only does the jean look good, the super form is called the Grim Reaper.
I kind of let that one out
of
the bag a
little awesome. Bit. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so cool. Super form's the Grim Reaper. The Grim jean is, again, it sounds like verbatim like Hatari, but it's a granite type jean. It's a dark jean.
This is discovered by Tropical Hut in 2016.
Yes, so again, very fresh jean, untapped. Not a whole bunch of people are working with it, not working it serious. There's so many combos that you can roll out with it. We've seen it in clown, we've seen it in, I don't even think I've seen it in pod just yet, but you guys can make hats. You guys can go out there and hunt down that jean. It's a serious jean that you need to work with. So some
of the characteristics of the actual snake, the body is highly pixelated with rings in the dorsal.
The head, you're going to get a lot of blushing around the rear,
tan.
Around the rear of the head, which is another identification marking.
And your alien heads are going to be really grainy like.
And sometimes you'll have spotting behind the neck. But again, you'll have spotting behind the neck on Grim gene as well as the Hatari gene. So I do understand the complications or the confusion behind thinking that Grim is the same gene as Hatari. Even if you worked with this for quite some time or was one of the originators of it,
we can even see why you would
definitely understand. Again, it's an incomplete dominant gene because you already know it has the super form Grim Reaper, and the same thing, it has the grainy alien heads. So that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna show off our thoughts on the results. So before we show you the tabletop, the reason we really wanted to dig into this and kind of called it the battle of the Granite gene is because we don't have a whole bunch of combinations of the Grim gene nor the Hatari gene. But obviously we've showed them to you. And now we do have in our collection super forms of both.
Of both. Hey.
So, you know, how do you say it? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. There we go.
They're different. Yeah. Again, it's our opinion, our fact, actually, and not. We want to put this information out as help.
Yes.
A helping tool, a learning tool. We're still learning. You know, we got ours from very reliable sources that's working with the gene. Our super forms, both of them are single, gene, meaning they are Grim Reaper, meaning 2 doses of Grim, and the Atari, meaning 2 doses of Hatari. Only thing I would say is our Atari male is 66% Het VPI. That's the only difference. We'll end up getting them tested as well. So we have the super form of both. They're obviously completely different
snakes.
So that should tell you and be the end all be all. It's the end all be all for our decision on clearing up any confusion for us.
Honestly,
on them being the same gene.
Even the most novice pet keeper could see the difference. That's very clearly obvious what you're about to see.
So here we go.
All right. So we have our Grim Reaper right here. And then we have our Atari right here.
So here we go. This guy has amazing bright highlights, but his dorsal, everything is super, super dark on him. Super dark. The Grim Reaper is altogether a different animal when it comes to darkness. It's endless on what we want to do with both. Whether we want to go stranger with them, we want to go Wookiee with them. We want to try out a few different things on both of them.
And if you notice, as far as the Granite gene is concerned, of course you're going to get similarities. So you can see the pixelation in the Atari, but you can also see your pixelation in your Grim Reaper right here. If you were able to look close, if the camera is really diving in on that snake.
We will say that there is definitely more blushing that is displayed here on the Atari male. You have different highlights that's being made along the belly as well, but not very many. There we go. You see in here there's some highlights in there, but not very many. And the dorsal is super dark with crazy highlights along the dorsal. So it's truly amazing gene.
Your Grim Reaper, on the other hand, is
granity. Look at that granite.
You see that?
Yeah.
In there
super
we go.
Granite, but it's a different style, different pattern
of pixelation.
Yeah. Good word. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you notice, they have almost a velvety appearance with a Grim Reaper versus the Atari.
Both of them have the dark striping. We do find that the Grim Reaper has a lot more striping going on down the dorsal than the Atari male. But all together, there's a little bit more uniform blushing along the belly line on the Grim Reaper. And the belly is just all together a different animal. Not a white belly, not a clear belly. It's very dirty belly.
Very.
And now I'll show you the belly on the Atari. Atari, a lot more cleaner of a belly. Some spotting on the belly. Slight inconsistent checkering along the sides. Completely different animal. Let's get them one more side by side. Check them out.
Just
So
a completely different ball game.
Absolutely.
But let us know what you think, guys.
Yeah.
Comment down below. We are always up for discussion.
Cool. So hopefully you guys really learned something from this video, from the display of both of those jeans.
Yeah.
It's not throwing shade at either jean. We love both jeans equally, and we're gonna work the mess out of both of
Absolutely.
those jeans. We have very detailed plans on what we want to do with those jeans and how we want to further that program, and hopefully be leaps and bounds ahead within the next 4 or 5 years. Everything's a long game for us. We're looking long term.
We in this forever, right?
For the rest of your life. However short that may be. But obviously we wanted to give you guys a visual, because that's the best way for me, as far as best
We're
form for
visual
me
people.
to learn. People can tell you this and tell you that and tell you this is different or this is the same, and then when you put your eyes on it and see it for yourself, you will be either in disagreement or in complete agreement, and that's what we wanted to display here on this episode of Jean Chasers. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully, hey, comment down below. Comment down below even if you disagree. We would love to have conversation, or show us different displays of what you may point us in the right direction of what you may assume is what either way. Check us out on Morph Market. We have plenty up there. Sure you can find something that suits you, or that you can kind of go down that rabbit hole behind as well. Check us out on Instagram.
And if you have any questions, hit us up. Feel free to
across the platform, whatever social media platform you need.
Instagram, the TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. It's the retirement community, I guess.
Audra runs a Facebook. Yeah.
It's I do.
Stop. So that's all we got for you guys. We're concluding another episode of Jean Chasers. Hopefully this kind of monkey rich, that we threw into the plans, really, hopefully you enjoyed it. We enjoyed making it. We appreciate you taking the time to watch it. And this Will, Audra, we out.